Have you ever spawned into a jet and died 2 seconds later? Do you feel like, okay, I get strafes, I get tactics, but I can't survive long enough to do any of it? Yeah, I've been there too. That's exactly why today's episode is all about dogfighting and survival. How to escape, how to shake enemies off your tail, and how to win more air-to-air fights. Let's get into it. First, before we talk dogfighting, you need a safe place to practice. The best portal map I found for this is this one. Experience code will be in the description. This map is great for multiple reasons. AI pilots are actually decent and they use evasive maneuvers, which is ideal for practicing your aim. They're aggressive, so you must learn to dodge. You can practice aiming and loops in a safe environment without pressure from your teammates or having to wait for jet respawns. However, there are two downsides to this map. AI will ram you sometimes, they are real demons here. On lower end PCs, you can encounter hardware issues, indicated by yellow rectangle icon in top left corner. Game will play in slow motion. You can try counter this by lowering your graphics settings or better yet, resolution. Now let's talk about issues with dogfighting and reason there are pretty much no guides on this topic. According to Silk and many other pro pilots, as of now, Battlefield 6 has no real dogfighting, and this is for a couple of reasons. Air radar doesn't work yet, TTK, which is time to kill, is insanely low, and most dogfights are coin flips because you are simply blindly flying loops. Because of that, top pilots prefer spawn camping enemy jets to prevent dogfights entirely. But even if meta is scuffed, you still need survival mechanics, and when dogfights do happen, you would want to win them, right? So, here's everything that actually works. Let's start with defensive maneuvers. There are two categories. Those that work only in stealth jets, and those that are available for all jets. So let's talk the stealth jets only maneuvers first. When talking about stealth jet maneuvers, we have in mind something called post-stealth physics. Basically, it's the ability to decelerate rapidly with a jet to a point where it hangs in the air, rapidly changing its direction. There are two main maneuvers connected to this move. First, post-stall stop, which is in real life called Pugachev's Cobra. It is great when someone is on your tail very close to you. When used correctly, you will force your enemy to pass you, allowing you to get on his tail instead. Or, unfortunately, to crash into you, that happens too. It is very high risk, high reward maneuver, but it's very fun to use. Next up is the famous V-tapping loop, which is in real life called Culbit maneuver. It's famous tight loop performed by good players, and here's how to do it. First you need to hold afterburner key. Then you should rapidly tap accelerate and decelerate buttons, for example W and S, while holding the afterburner. Don't hold those keys too long, or you will trigger a Cobra. This gives you the tightest possible turning radius in the game. You can use it, for example, when you're trying to shake someone off your tail, or when you're trying to get on someone's tail, or when you're aiming and you need to push your crosshair a little bit in front of enemy jet. It is very useful. It has many uses and it's great maneuver to know. If you know this, you will win most of your jet fights versus pilot who doesn't use this, of course. Now let's talk the universal maneuvers for all jets. First we have a switch, which is quick 180. It is a simple but very effective and overlooked move. While pitching up or down, roll to your left or right to change direction and pitch up or down. Try to do this in different angles to confuse your opponents. And very important tip here, try utilizing your pitch down as much as possible. It is a very neglected key. For most people, it feels more natural to pitch up than pitch down, so by doing this, you will leave them confused. Next we have flat scissors. It is a switch after switch after switch. It forces your opponent to constantly readjust, making yourself more difficult to hit. It is great to gain some distance, for example away from enemy HQ or into your own HQ. And then we have rolling scissors. It is a more advanced version of flat scissors. In practice, this is a barrel roll after barrel roll. However, you can't just hold E or Q and hope for the best. You need to make wider turns for this to work. When mastered, it will make you really difficult to hit. Additionally, you could improve it by holding down your yaw key, respective to your roll key. For example, if you adapted my keybinds from previous video, it would be Q and A to turn left and E and D to turn right. These keys are very close to each other, so this makes for an easy maneuver. Turning while holding both keys makes a corkscrew turn pattern, which is even harder to hit. And last but definitely not least is my personal favorite, vertical loop near the ground. Vertical loop performed near ground is effective especially when your opponent is right behind you or approaches you at an aggressive angle. You started by flying towards the ground and making sudden pitch up or pull up move in last moment. When done correctly, it should force your opponent to crash into the ground. This is a very fun move to use, I can't recommend it enough. The results are hilarious. Okay, now with maneuvers out of the way, let's talk survival strategy. Here are essential tips that will keep you alive. Tip number 1. Stay on your side of the map. This is important because you will usually encounter enemies with their crosshairs in the skies more often at their side of the map, where they are relatively safe and can snipe aircraft. I know this should be pretty obvious, but still it is often neglected, and it's the single one most important factor that shortens pilots' lives. Tip number 2. Be careful around enemy HQ. In short, if you're not spawn camping enemy jets, you have no business flying there. As Sun Tzu famously said, you should never piss against the wind. Likewise, you should never try dogfighting near enemy HQ. Its automated anti-air will delete you in seconds. It's just a bad idea overall, trust me. And for the love of God, please don't try to bomb those stay-at-home tanks. If you try bombing anything near enemy HQ, its AI anti-air will instantly shoot the bomb the moment you drop it, killing you on the spot. Don't say I didn't warn you. Tip number 3. Use friendly AA as a trap. This is connected to the previous tip. You should always try to punish enemy jets that are overextending and bring the fight near your airfield. Drag it for long enough and your base anti-air should vaporize enemy jet for you. You're welcome. Tip number 4. No flares, hug the ground. If you're out of flares and someone fires another missile at you, don't panic. You still have a chance. If you dive close to the ground, the missile can lose tracking and miss you entirely, especially if you fly low, fast and change direction. Which leads us to tip number 5. After a strafe, or after using your flares, stay low. Once you use your flares and finish your strafe, immediately drop down and fly close to the ground. Flying below radar altitude makes you impossible to lock onto. It's one of the easiest ways to avoid unnecessary deaths. Tip number 6. Repair and restock at your airfield. This is a mechanic the game never explains and almost no one talks about. You can repair and refill your bombs and missiles simply by flying over your airfield. For best results, slow down while flying over the runway, and if it doesn't work, loop around and try again. There seems to be a hidden cooldown, so if your teammate used it a moment ago, you might need one extra pass. Okay, now that we have all of our bases covered, let's talk about offense. Firstly, don't be impatient. You should stay hidden for as long as possible if you can sneak up behind enemy jet and let yourself some time to line a shot. You can oftentimes kill them in one burst. This is the best case scenario for you. However, if it comes to actual dogfight, you should try to align your direction with theirs and mirror their turns. For example, if they pitch up, you pitch up, if they dive, you dive. Keep your crosshair just ahead of their nose. like you're about to crash into them, without crashing into them of course. This takes practice, so please do it in Portal first, not in live matches. With time you will get better and better at this. And here is a little offensive advice for a stealth jet. Please remember you have anti-air missiles at your disposal. Use them wisely. For example, if you see that your opponent, be it jet or a helicopter, just used its flares, it is best to fire both rockets one after another. Just make sure you wait until those flares disappear. If, however, you are unsure if the enemy has his flares or not, fire a single missile. If he has his flares, you'll force him to use them, and he'll be left vulnerable. If he doesn't have them, you can fire another one after the first connects. Another neat trick for rockets is to fire them from up close, to leave no time for your enemy to react. I've scored multiple kills this way, give it a shot. And that's all for today's video. If this helped at all, please leave a like, drop a comment, it really helps small channels like mine, and subscribe if you want more Battlefield 6 content. Tell me what topic you would want to see next, make it whatever you're struggling with, I'm here to help. See you in next one.